I'm Melissa Mushaka, and we are with Jessica White, and this is amazing. First of all, thank you.
Thank you for having
So
me.
much. Love your outfit.
Thank you so much.
Right?
Yeah.
70s, y'all. Going down.
Stuck in the 70s for sure.
So I want to start with love, and I want to start with first love, right? And I was so intrigued to learn that your first love was music.
Y'all thought I was going to talk about a boy.
Your first
I
love
thought she was going to talk about a boy.
I loved learning that your first love was music. I honestly I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, my mom and my father had me in the arts at an early age. So I was in theater, I was in a girls group.
Memorial Templora? No, wait, I butchered it.
The Memorial Templars.
The Memorial Templars.
I have no idea why they named us that. And we were all sopranos.
How many?
3 of us.
Okay.
And I was always the lead singer. But we would sing a lot of Clark sister songs. And, oh man, this is taking me back. I was just so in love. Like, we would hold little concerts. I'm sorry, I have something in my eye.
Cool.
We would hold little concerts around Buffalo and go upstate. I had the most social calendar. It was always like, I've got to pin you in.
How old were you?
Well, I started
younger than 14.
I started doing ballet at the age of 6, and it kind of just went on from there. But my being in the choir was something I've done since I could remember to speak. And then we had the girls group, just consistently growing up in church. Like a lot of our church plays and things like that, I would be the star in and I would help write. Yeah, so theater and arts is just something I've always been in, and singing was my first love. And then when my dad passed away, I was the youngest, but always very intense. And it was like, well, how can I help relieve some of the stress from my mom? This is what a 7-year-old girl was thinking.
Wow.
And as soon as I graduated from elementary school, I looked in a phone book and was like, I'm going to start modeling because I'm tall. I'm like, a lot of the kids would call me a boy with flat chest because I had long hair and I had no boobs.
Oh my gosh.
You know how cruel
Right.
kids can be.
Mean.
You know, now I'm a boy with a lot of
Back
money.
then, damn woman. No, I know.
Right.
No, right.
So then in 1999, I was like, all right, I'm going to start this competition. And well, I didn't start it. I went to this competition here in New York City called IMTA. Like Katie Holmes was discovered there. A few other people. But Katie Holmes I'm a fan.
And this is what I love about learning about people's true stories. Because you go on Wikipedia and it's like, she was discovered in the mall in Buffalo, and it's like, no, you had a decision
for it. Yeah.
Right, you had a decision that said, like, I want to support my family. What can I do to add to my mom's weight, to take off the weight off her plate? And that's like, people don't know that.
No. Then my first job was American Vogue 2 weeks later.
Yes. At the age of 14, which is incredible. And so from there, you have been able to hold down a very luminous, lucrative career.
Definitely.
Which is very amazing and humbling, being a woman of color and being in this world where, a lot of it is, it's a fine line. How have you managed to work in such an intense industry and maintain longevity?
Well, if we're talking about color, I think being a woman in general is challenging.
It's true.
I just tend not to look at myself in a way that the rest of the world does. If you don't look at color, they won't see it. And even if they do see it, I'm surpassed it.
Yes.
I'm a woman.
Yes.
I'm a woman who's in this industry, and I'm a woman who's fighting for my dreams, and I'm going to achieve everything that I want to. And I think once we get past that, as an individual, because that's the healthy way to do it, who cares? They're always going to look at you as a woman of color.
Always.
But if you don't project that, they can't.
Who instilled that?
Like, I was on the set of Maybelline, and the photographers would come up to the white girls and be like, watch Jessica when she's on set. I wasn't a black girl who was doing that, He wasn't looking at me like that. He was looking at me as a woman who knew what she was doing.
And that's refreshing to hear, because growing up, for myself, being born in Southern Africa but in the States, I was kind of felt I was in this weird crust of like African, but then viewed as African American, but at the same time I've always just viewed myself as an individual. I'm a human, I'm a woman. And to explain that at times to people, they get offended, like, no, but you're a black woman, but it's like,
I'm a woman.
I'm a woman.
I'm a woman.
I'm a woman with a voice, and I'm excited that we get to use it. So I love that you identify and hold that to
I
true.
know exactly what I bring to the table and what I want other African American girls to get from it, and I just want them to be healthy emotionally and mentally when coming into a business like this, or even if you're a doctor. You know, being a woman in general is tough enough. Don't add other things to it.
Please don't.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So with having music as your first love, but then being, the lanes of modeling just took off for you. Now you are going back.
Yeah. It's like 1999.
And it's not even a going back. It's
kind of you have to learn how to humble yourself in any new arena.
Right. It's a rebirth.
Yeah, and I'm rebirthing it. I've been telling my friends it's 1999 all over again. I was like, oh, that's the song I got it right. But it's true. I feel like I found this quarter the other day and it said 1999, and I was like, that's it. It's a sign. It is a sign. It's a rebirthing for me. And if that's something I had to do to get away from, not even get away from fashion, because what fashion gave me, I'm forever grateful for it.
And you'll apply it.
I will apply it, but right now it's time for me to be able to branch out and be an artist.
So now with that, you've written your first song,
Yeah.
Bipolar.
Actually,
Bipolar Love.
Bipolar Love I wrote in 2010.
Really?
Yeah, when I actually met my first love. And then I held off on it for a while because I needed to, get more of the sound and make sure that the whole plan kind of just all formed together. And really, it was just a way to, I was battling with being bipolar, trying to be an artist and a model, and then my love life. So it kind of just cohesively, it was easy to write. And I cried the first time the band started really playing the song because it's live instrumentation. Because I used to study Phil Spector.
Really?
He's my musical genius that I adore. The wall of sound. It was a very strategic sound, and I love live instrumentation because I got my start in church, and so everything was based off of live music,
Yes. And it just
It was
fills
like
you
a
in a way,
concert, like nothing else.
Nothing else
Yeah.
does.
Definitely.
So when did you realize it's time to make the transition from modeling to my first love?
Well, I've been writing and recording since 2010, ongoing, but maybe 3 years ago is when I took the last 3 years off from modeling so that I could really focus on my music.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this and you invested this money in it, you really got to see this through.
Yeah.
And I fired my team and got a whole new team. And now we're here, and we're releasing the first single on Tuesday, my birthday.
And now your birthday, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to my birthday.
Birthday.
But it's like no matter how long it takes, as long as you do it
Mm-hmm.
and make sure it's fucking right.
Yes. Speaking to that, what advice would you give to women, people who are not quite where they want to be, that they're taking steps, or maybe they're not taking steps? Like, what is your advice, or the things that kept you going when you didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel?
You have your ups and your downs. There were moments where I doubted myself, and sometimes you have to rebuild your self-esteem. Sometimes you got to go deeper, and it's meditation, and it's like crying to God. But one thing that you have to remember is you have to shut everybody else off. Be very careful and selective who you take advice from, because not everybody is for you.
And I always say consider the source. You know what I mean? If you're taking advice from a baker, but you're trying to do jewelry.
Definitely. Consider the source. But most importantly, you've got to believe in yourself and know that God doesn't make any mistakes.
No, he does not.
And so you're perfectly divine, and you're right where you need to be.
Yes, I love it. So I was really reading an interview, and I was watching an interview that you did, and I was like, oh, she gets me, when you were talking about your commitment issues. And I didn't even to use the word issues, because it's like we all battle with commitment, but I love that you broke it down on the Breakfast Club, and you said it was the fear of it, and the fear of just being vulnerable,
and someone else. That's very scary.
So scary, and you don't realize it till you're in it, and you're asked to, take that step.
Well, because women have to give more in relationships than men do. And that's just something we should talk about, you know.
Something we
have
now.
to. We really have to talk about that.
Yes.
Women give more in relationships in general. And this isn't me being pessimistic. This is fact. And so, therefore, you have to stay. Yeah.
Up with
and you
more.
have to stay when they're not willing to. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
God made us the nurturers.
Mm-hmm.
And because we are the nurturers, you know, we have to put up with more. But I grew up in a world where I had, you know, balls.
Yes, yes.
You know,
and brothers and a strong dad.
Very, very strong father, very strong men in my life who never sugarcoated anything from me. And it was like, look, Angel, that's my second name. You need to be very smart. You go out there and you make money. You know, you go out there, if he pisses you off, you make sure you have enough money so you can call yourself a private jet. I've done this.
Wow. And you know what? So this is something I'm going to go there. Because a lot of the misconception is women who have commitment issues and they have fear, they grew up without a father, they, you know, didn't have male influences.
No, I just Instagrammed a photo of my daddy today. He's the love of my life.
And I love that. And so we're at the split where you grew up with male influences in your life. Your father was present. My father died young too, but he was also in and out of my life. So I had the disconnect from that place. Yet the commitment issues were still there. But I just want to demystify that it doesn't.
It's not about having male
That was
issues.
kind of like a wow moment for me. Like,
I mean, I think every single human being walking the face of the earth has some form of abandonment issue.
yes.
You know, that's like, yeah, I've dealt with abandonment issues. I'm sure you have. Everyone in this room probably has. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being a strong enough woman, the way I want to raise my daughter.
Yes.
But I want to raise my daughter to not be, you know, I want her to have a beautiful platform and a beautiful beginning and respect men. When I say that I had commitment issues, I didn't mean that I didn't respect men. I can be submissive to a man because I grew up in a household where you kind of had to be. My father wouldn't have had it. You wouldn't have had it any other way. I'm going to be submissive if you have a mission. And if I can follow that. And the moment that you show me I can't follow that, deuces.
So with a lot of your dating life, and I'd love for you to give myself and some of us advice, you've been linked to a lot of prominent, successful men, such as Sean Penn. Like, what did you learn in that relationship that you said, okay, lesson learned? Because everything is a lesson. There's no mistakes in life.
The thing is, a lot of my relationships could have worked out. Like, my relationship with Sean could have worked out. That was more so me walking away when I didn't need to. I think if you are...
Walking away or pushing him away?
Both. I think walking away is pushing someone. Kind of cohesively aligns together. There was a lot that I learned about myself. There was a lot I learned about men in general. But it all boils down to communication. I could have been more mature with the way that I handled certain situations. So it allowed me to be more of a communicator and say how I feel versus just walking away. A lot of the men in my past kind of felt like I just ditched them. And that's because I did. But I didn't even bother to communicate when really it was me being fearful, and I had pride, so I didn't want to tell them I was being fearful because I don't want to be vulnerable.
Right. Where when I learned this about 2010, I went and heard the speaker, and she said, in your sensitivity lies your power.
Oh my God.
And it changed everything.
The day that I started telling men how I felt emotionally is the most powerful thing I've ever done in my life. Like, I just recently talked about my first love, which I had always kept very private. And I didn't tell him. I feel very comfortable in those emotions now, where I can say, yeah, I loved him. But it's conducive to me loving him, not the other way around. I'm not expecting anything from anyone, but it's me being a lover, me being able to say, yes, I love, and I'm happy and comfortable in loving.
I'm not filling a void with the love that I'm giving you because I'm expecting something.
I'm not expecting anything. It's just about love. That's really what it's about.
Right. You know? So the show Famously Single that you are on right now, some of the lessons that you're talking about, do you feel like you kind of learned them through the show, or you already had that? I know you said that you were just on there having fun.
No, I think
yourself?
I'm very awakened.
Yeah.
And I didn't even feel like, honestly speaking, that the doctor helped me in any capacity. I learned more about myself through my castmates.
Really?
Yeah, Aubrey and Samaya and Willis and Paulie.
How so?
And Josh and Callum and Brandy. These were the people that helped me because I became really close with them. We were all in it together. Mm-hmm. So it was us against the producers, us against the world at that point. And these are the people that are intimately getting to know you. So you're kind of like opening up and shutting yourself in front of people, but we're all in it together.
Yes.
And I started to see myself through them, whereas I'm socially introverted and I'm a loner. So I would be off in my little bunk.
Yeah.
And
I read they took your phone away.
They did. They took my phone away because I was on the phone talking. I gave them a battle for like 3 days. I was like, you're not getting my phone. With a smile on my face, you're not getting my phone. And then I realized once I got into it, it was like, I'm going to get anything out of this. Let me just stop and just give them the phone. And that's when I realized, they were like, you're a loner. Like, you need to open up more. So why are you over there or we're over here? And I was like, I just want to cuddle with my blankie and call it a day.
Right.
But that's when I started breaking down pieces and being able to see myself through them.
Mm-hmm. How much do you feel, with a lot of women today and technology being just this divide almost. A lot of people are in texting relationships.
Oh, it's the worst.
And
it's the devil.
It literally
and
is.
There is no
privacy.
It's no privacy.
No privacy.
And it's just certain things that you're not supposed to know.
How do we keep that intimacy? How do we keep
You gotta put your phone down. And it's hard to do. You gotta put your phone down. We live in a virtual...
Like, is it a matter of going on a date and being like, could we just not have the phone out, and just really stating that?
We live in a virtual world where there's no real relationship. I talk to a lot of girls and they don't even know their partner's last name.
Wow.
Or they don't know their... I ask stupid questions like, what's your favorite color? Like, that shit is important to me.
I love it.
I like to know, like, little stupid
And if you have to Google it, no, I'm just kidding.
Right. Don't fucking Google me before a date either. That's so rude. Because I'm very honest, and what I want you to know, you'll know.
Right.
And what's on Wikipedia, they can't even...
They
people are able to write that shit down and they don't even know you. You're in Texas writing about Jessica White. Right. How do you know?
I know. It's true. This is why I love having these conversations and even like learning things such as like why you got into modeling, because like I said, Wikipedia gets it wrong, and
they totally get it wrong.
That realness, we're losing it, and so like the rate of being single is so high today. Right. And a lot of people say
because there's no intimacy.
There's no intimacy, and we say it's a crutch of like, oh, I'm just doing me and my career and I'm all the way up, which is great, and that's an excuse.
But that shows a lot of the insensitivity that is going around the world too. Love is the only thing that can heal us, and I know that sounds like a Beatles song, but it's the truth.
It's so true.
You ever come across someone who's just bitter and cynical, but the moment they get in a relationship, they're the happiest person in the world?
Totally different.
It's because their heart chakra is open. You can't operate when that's closed.
Now I see why you're 70s. Because it's all love.
It really is. Like, I'm a lover. I just love it. I just love love. And I love people that are kind and just, even when I'm having a bad moment, I just go, I'm sorry, can you just give me 1 second?
And I love that you're very kind, because that's a whole other, myth of people. You read about people and they're linked to this and they've gone through that, but you're so kind. And you came in here so humble, and the whole crew, we just played. Mm-hmm. And that's something I think you guys need to know. She's kind, she's beautiful, that's what makes up, beautiful people,
now
in my opinion.
Into a little kid.
No, it's great though. It's been so fun. So, okay, birthday's coming up. Yes. Very excited. What are your plans?
I haven't really celebrated my birthday in so long, but I'm in the middle of a show and releasing. Like, we have a revolt that day. Like, it's a lot of stuff going on, releasing the single. So I'm going to be working, and I'm going to try to celebrate as much as I can. But I'm one of those people where I don't really celebrate too much when I have a lot of things going on business-wise, which isn't good.
Right.
I would like to enjoy. I'll probably enjoy my birthday going home and seeing my family upstate.
Okay, so and you're gonna go to Buffalo. You're gonna come back to Buffalo.
I'm gonna try to make it there.
Okay.
I really suck at getting home, but I've got 11 nieces and nephews that I'm madly in love with, that are in love with me, and so I need to go and see them soon.
Well, before you leave, we definitely have a birthday celebration for you here.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I know you said you don't celebrate much, but I feel like life is meant to be
This is
celebrated.
amazing.
Birthdays are meant to be celebrated. So
They are, right?
happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jessica. Happy birthday to you. Ooh, get it, Harmony. Make a wish. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
So
Thank
sweet.
you.
You're so welcome.
That's
This has
awesome.
been wonderful
Thank
talking
you
with
so
you.
much.
You were delightful.
Thank
and I
you.
want more opportunities to talk and talk
Yes, I
about
would
things
love to.
that we need to be discussing in the world.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much.
Thank